Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Golden Knights are inbound hot, and the Red Eagles are going to depart the airspace. Our Golden Knights will be right back in front of you momentarily. That's Buck Groban. He's going to complete this turn and head on out behind the crowd. That's just a small teaser of what you'll see. The Red Eagles perform their full show later on in the show today. Thanks a lot. We'll be talking to you soon.
Hi, I'm Mike Allen.
And I'm Jude Rojas, and we're at the Westfield International Air Show. This is a fantastic two-day event, and it is so much more than an air show. We will definitely be seeing that today.
There are more than 30 incredible acts. Among them are the awesome Thunderbirds, the precision skydiving of the Golden Knights,
Geico Skytypers, Greg Poe, John Klatt, and I could go on. The list is so long.
So join us. You'll see some incredible airplanes, meet some interesting people, and have a great time.
Right now we're getting set for the launch we had talked about of our, of course the F-15s are going to launch. They're off to your left. And in fact they'll be taking off on runway 20, which is a heading of 200 degrees. That's what those numbers on the runway mean. It's very simply a compass heading. We were here last, I think 5 years ago was the last time they did a show. And as you may know, the 104th Fighter Wing has changed aircraft since the last time. As they close their highly decorated chapter of history of the A-10, they opened a whole brand new one with a chapter of the F-15 Sea Eagle. The A-10 can also carry incredible armament under the wings. A great tough airplane, of course, has that incredible gun in the nose of it. Just to give you an idea how big that gun is, with its ammo drum and everything, it's the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. And a perfect landing.
Tell us more about the 104 Fighter Wing.
Well, the Fighter Wing was established back in 1947, and since then we've been flying fighter aircraft. In fact, this F-15 here is the 9th aircraft we've flown in our history.
Can you tell us more about the mission here?
Well, this F-15 is responsible for protecting the entire Northeast airspace from any airborne threat. Our pilots stand by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and in a moment's notice we could scramble our jets, and we try to be airborne within about 10 minutes or so or faster, and our pilots will get airborne and travel to whatever the track of interest is that they're there to engage. Once they identify the track, then they can go and help it and escort it down or engage in any way that they see fit. In the event that we were scrambled right now, our airplanes would be in the air and could be down to Boston in about 5.5 to 6 minutes. New York City in about 8 minutes or so. And we've been hosting air shows, gosh, for the last 20 years or so. And it's the best opportunity we have to highlight the men and women of the Air National Guard and the mission that we do here. Well, anytime that you bring 250,000 people to a single location, there's a lot of logistics to go into it. In fact, we've been planning this air show since December of last year. We try and coordinate everything from concession sales to what flying acts perform to what statics we're going to put on the ramp so we can highlight the best and brightest out here to the community.
What's your favorite part of an air show like this?
My favorite part is actually during the air show walking up the crowd line and watching the kids' faces when they see these aircraft doing amazing things in the sky, and they start to realize that the amount of technology that we have and the way that we can implement this both in wartime and peacetime.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you look around the grounds here at different places, you will see what are commonly referred to as porta potties. The only difference is it's got little wheels under it. It's got, Paul, you got a little problem there. There's fire coming out the stack. That's also something I've never seen come out of a porta potty. Whoop, look out. Well, I guess he did have to get in there, didn't he? We're getting set to show you the P-51 Mustang as flown by one of the best demonstration pilots in that airplane. That's Captain Snort Snodgrass. Here comes Snort Snodgrass in the P-51 Mustang. Give a look, give a listen. Now he's going to just do a nice slow roll here right now. Takes a lot of control, by the way, to roll the airplane slowly because the airplane wants to roll a lot faster than that. comes Dan Damio in the P-47.
We're here with Dan Damio and standing in front of this beautiful P-47. Dan, tell me a little bit about yourself and then about the airplane.
Well, I've been flying for a while, since 1953.
That's a few years before I was born.
And got into the warbirds because of an uncle that was a World War II fighter pilot, still alive at 92. And he did a roll over top of our house when I was 8 years old with a Mustang. One of those things you saw go out a couple minutes ago. And I had the hankering ever since. I know that some of the pilots, some of the squadrons took one gun out to carry more ammo because it was a matter of, firepower. This is great if you've got a big target in front of you and you just want to spray it. But if you need a little bit extra, and according to my old uncle, they went to 3 guns mainly because the extra weight also. Mm-hmm. He said if you have a 109 on your butt, you'll wish you only had no guns in you.
So Dan, tell me about the markings on the side.
These are battle flags. Underneath the battle flag was the type airplane shot down.
Okay.
This is showing 20 shoot downs, 20 battle flags. I had Gabby Gabreski from Long Island, the super ace, offered him the keys to there are no keys, but I offered him the keys to the airplane. He said, "It's okay, Dan." Anyway, these are the battle flags, the type aircraft shot down. Mm-hmm. The top is the buzz bomb.
Wow.
That they would fly in and tip.
They'll tip it.
Tip the wing, mm-hmm. Spill the gyro, and it would go down. Mm-hmm. Then the others are like 15 trucks that blew up, 5 railroad cars. You've seen a bunch of pictures from World War II where they just love to shoot up that engine and watch the steam plume up. Those are the dive bombers we talked about before, the straight down bomb. The glides are like that. And the bottom one that gets the most, what is that? That's a boom. They were called fighter sweeps, and that's why the broom.
Oh, very good.
So those are authentic type World War II markings.
Oh, wow.
And of course this is Navy. This is the invasion of Normandy, where they painted the black and white stripes on it. Didn't make any difference. The Navy shot at them anyway.
Right.
You were a fighter pilot, you didn't fly near the boats. You went around them.
Your pilot for today's demonstration is Major David Graham from Horsted's, New York. Major Graham is a veteran fighter pilot with over 2,000 hours in the F-16 and F-117 stealth fighter and has flown multiple combat sorties over the skies of Iraq in support of Operation Northern Watch. Launching Major Graham was our expert maintenance team, led by our lead dedicated crew chief, Staff Sergeant Kelly Berksmeyer from Bloomfield, Iowa. Now as Major Graham repositions his aircraft and demonstrates the low-altitude, high-speed capability of the F-16. As he passes show center, he'll be traveling just under the speed of sound at 650 miles per hour. But that's still less than half the Viper's top speed of Mach 2. Westfield, Major Graham and the Super Roll. When he approaches show center, Major Graham will apply full afterburner and accelerate his aircraft into a nearly vertical climb, demonstrating the F-16's awesome thrust-to-rate ratio.
Samantha, is this the first time you've been to one of these air shows?
Yeah.
It is, huh? Have you been here all day?
Pretty much so.
Yeah. What have you seen so far that you like?
I really like the F-15s.
The F-15, huh? You think you'd like to fly one of those someday?
Yeah.
Alrighty. That's
left forward stick, sending it spiraling down at over 160 miles an hour. Into the knife edge spin now, around and round he goes. Negative 3 pushing him outside of the cockpit, working his way back towards air show center. Diving down with the top right off to that in the vertical. Demonstrating the horsepower, this high-combing IO 540, producing nearly 330 horsepower, skidding and sliding the aircraft. At the top, the last second, John in the hammerhead turnaround. Left rudder, right forward stick. the force of gravity. John pulls back on the stick and skyward once again he goes. Now rolling the aircraft, forcing the aircraft in a series of high-speed stalls. Snap roll on top of the loop. Don't hit the aerobatic roll. That's the triple avalanche. Exiting stage right, John pushing inverted. Those negative G's so very hard on the body. All the blood rushing to his head. The force of gravity trying to throw him outside of that aircraft. John rolling his way back towards Air Show Center. Then he's going to climb up to an altitude of about 3,000 feet. And why does he do this? Really for a number of reasons. One, for John's specific. Everyone, it's a great day for an Air Show, Tim. Yes, and we're going to good shot already. I'm sure a lot more coming in. Oh, yeah. We got the elevator coming down. We're on the third floor this morning. There we go. The fourth floor. All right, we're going to get back on the fourth floor. So it's nice. John was back here this morning. So thank you all for coming out. It's great event. A beautiful morning. Lots of
We're here with John Klatt. Tell us more about your performance.
Well, I'm delighted to be here to represent the Air Guard. Today I'll be flying the Air Guard Panzel S330, built for unlimited aerobatics. So we're delighted to be here at Westfield. It's one of the best shows in the nation. Clearly yesterday they had well over 100,000 people here. Traffic backed up for 26 miles. Massive air show yesterday. And it just goes to show that air shows are alive and well today in the United States.
What type of shows do you usually perform in? Are they as big as these international shows?
Yeah, well, I fly 20 of the best air shows all around the nation. We just came from Seafair. We've flown in Jones Beach. We've had the opportunity to fly in Oshkosh before. So we really are lucky to be able to participate in these great events, which are really America's best pastime, if you will. You know, there's apple pie, baseball, and you got air shows. So I'm really delighted to have a small part in it and to be able to represent the Air Guard. The 107,000 men and women that make up the Air Guard is a real honor. And really, the 104th Fighter Wing right here at Barnes is an incredible Guard unit. So to be on a Guard unit feels like home, and they've done a great job this year putting together an outstanding air show.
Do you have anything to say about your airplane? Is it modified?
Yeah, this is a highly modified airplane. It weighs about 1,250 pounds. It's mostly carbon fiber. The wing is wood. We have a lightweight MT propeller.
Can you describe one of the most difficult maneuvers that you do?
Well, I like doing Lumshavak, which the airplane actually goes out of control. So I push left forward stick and left rudder at the same time and get the nose to come over and get the end to come over the nose in a tumble maneuver, which is kind of interesting for the viewer, and it's a wild ride for me.
How did you start flying, and what sparked you?
Well, as a young boy, my father used to take me to air shows. You know, I went to the EAA and we camped out as a 12, 13-year-old, and I looked up and saw the magic of air show performers and really kind of was inspired to fly. And from there I learned about the Air Guard, and I've had a 21-year career flying fighters in the Air Guard, flying cargo airplanes, flying about 4 or 5 different airplanes in the Air Guard. So for a guy that likes to fly airplanes, I've really had a great career, and I hope I can encourage a young man or woman to get involved in the Air Guard or in whatever they aspire to be.
Beautiful airplane. Our good friend Larry Kelly and the B-25 named Panchito. Give a look and a listen.
And here's Dan Damio and the P-47 Thunderbolts.
Leading the parade, the Douglas C-47 Skytrain.
He's not upset at all.
A C-47 in full military markings. a B-25 in full military markings, a P-51, marked as it was during World War II, and a P-47. Okay, that made me shiver. I don't know about you.
To offer an education without barrier to race, creed, or economic status. Captain Tito puts his nose near down, nice and frontal.
All right, I'm about as close to the action as you can get right now with Skip Lehman. Skip is the air boss. Skip, what is an air boss?
Well, the air boss is like the combination choreographer conductor. Everything that goes on in the sky, from the first airplane that takes the sky during the air show in the morning to the last one that lands, we direct from up here. We work on the schedule. We direct it from up here, and we choreograph the sky dance, if you will.
Wow. So now you in direct communication with the aircraft, or do you work through the tower?
Work directly with them. And the tower gives me the airspace. When I take it over 8:30 in the morning, I give it back to them when I'm done.
Wow. So you really are the boss, huh?
Yeah.
What's it like to be God like that for the day?
It's when you're dealing with professionals like these guys here, and we work together. We've been working together for 20 years, most of us. So
wow.
That we respect each other, and it's a real non-adversarial relationship.
Difference in these airplanes when you're looking at them. Take a look at the top of the upper wing. All the
Now watch as they pull it up into the vertical. There's one straight up here. Dropping and dropping, almost down to zero. They kick in the left rudder and they pivot right around themselves. Get that hammerhead right and away. And it's going to push the stick forward and fly vertically. Plus going to pull back on the stick and up they go.
We're here with Staff Sergeant Ryan Ray of the Golden Knights. Tell us, what are the Golden Knights?
The Golden Knights are the United States Army's parachute team. We're a demonstration team. We compete nationally and internationally, and we perform live aerial demonstrations in support of Army, public relations, and recruiting.
How long do you have to practice in order to perfect your formations?
Once a year, we train extensively for approximately 2 months, where we'll do anywhere between 200 and 300 jumps and get ready for the upcoming show season and incorporate new jumpers into the team.
How many team members?
Our unit total has about 90 people. That includes our aviation section, our 2 demonstration teams, our competition team, our tandem team, and our chain of command.
And this is?
Sergeant Jennifer Shaben.
How long have you been a Golden Knight?
This is almost the end of my 2nd year on the team, so almost 2 years, and it's been a lot of fun.
Describe one of your performances.
Well, the performance that we did today, I shot video, so I climbed outside the aircraft, and then as people started exiting, I just had to let go, and then had to go up and try to get them on my still camera and my video camera, and I just followed them all the way down.
Have a safe jump. Out of the gold, into the black. Once you're there, you never go back. Who? The Golden Knights.
All right, guys, keep safe.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sergeant Chris Clark, originally from Salem, Ohio. It has been my proud honor to fly in the POW MIA flag on this, my 2,100th freefall parachute jump. I will narrate for you today a demonstration of precision freefall as performed by members of your United States Army parachute team, the Golden Knights. If you have ever wondered what would happen if a parachute did not work, then watch closely because you are about to find out. The parachute is now accelerating earthwards at speeds in excess of 90 miles per hour. It would be impossible for this jumper to survive a landing under this parachute, so he must release it completely, return to freefall, and deploy his main parachute. And there you have the high-flying black and gold of your United States Army parachute team, the Golden Knights. These are the same procedures a freefall parachutist would use if they were to have a problem with their main parachutes. For a beautiful tiptoe landing.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know.
We're catching up with Staff Sergeant Ryan Ray. You just jumped out of an airplane. How does that feel?
Hey, it feels great. I tell you what, we've had a lot of hospitality from the people here in Massachusetts. It's been wonderful. Anytime we get a chance to perform and to represent the men and women that are deployed around the world, making great sacrifices for us, it's incredible.
How do you mentally prepare for a jump?
Well, we choreograph everything on the ground that we're going to do in the air, so there's no surprises. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. We train for this, and we do it as safely as possible, just like any Army unit.
How long does it take to prepare for each jump, equipment-wise?
Well, our equipment, we have a main parachute and a reserve parachute. The main takes about 10 minutes to pack, and the reserve will take about a half an hour to pack. During our choreographing that we do on the ground before we go in the air, we'll spend about 15 to 20 minutes figuring out exactly what we're going to do.
What's your favorite part of the show so far?
I think just being out here and representing the Army, representing the men and women of the Army is the best part. It's great jumping, but now that I'm here on the ground, I get to talk to people, tell them about the Army, tell them what I do, and tell them about what the soldiers are doing.
Thank you.
ASB.TV presents Michael Goulian.
While he rolls the airplane, going straight up under the power of that Lycoming Thunderbolt I-0580 engine. This is what we call the torque roll. Oh yeah! Get it on, Michael! Awarded the equally prestigious Bill Barber Award at Air.
We're here with the amazing Mike Goulian. Can you tell us more about your show?
It's a rock and roll air show. It's down in front, low, close to the crowd, very high speed rolls, high speed tumbles. It's one of those performances where you want the audience to feel I can't believe actually an airplane can do that.
Are there any special modifications that you have on your plane?
It really is not custom made to you when you first get it. So everybody goes ahead and makes changes to how the controls feel. Are they light? Are they heavy? How do you like them? It's almost like a baseball glove for a baseball player or a tennis racket for a professional tennis player. It's the same way with one of these airplanes. You want it to feel just a certain way, so all of them have been modified just a little bit.
A lot of your performance, it just seems death-defying. Are there any particular maneuvers that are particularly difficult?
The maneuvers that I'm doing, although are difficult, they're all really pretty much the same that you'll see every day. And can I do them 1,000 out of 1,000 times? No, but I could probably do them 999 out of 1,000 times. And that's really what brings the safety into a very dynamic show like this, is that you have a very set routine, you stick to it, and you only modify it just very little each performance, really more for positioning in front of the crowd than anything else. The great thing about aviation is it's always a challenge, and it's never the same thing twice. Every single performance is different. The weather changes, the wind changes, the temperature changes, and an airplane, it really is almost like a living, breathing thing that it flies differently depending upon the external conditions. So for me, the challenge is always there. But then the second thing is that when you see young people at an air show like this and you get to meet them after, that's an amazing thing, because you're telling and showing people by example that if you work hard at something and you just follow a passion, you'll be good at it. And that's what you want people to realize, and the kids to understand. It's not about money, it's not about fame, it's not about any of that. It's about living a life that you want to live and not being sort of boxed into a corner. So it's all about passion. Follow that passion and then just go for it.
To show you how this helicopter was used in rescue service. Not so easy in combat conditions when you had to come in low and slow in this big old bird to pick up somebody. There's the person on the litter, and the troops on the ground are going to tote it over and get it in the helicopter. Want to make sure they have their patient secured, and they have. And away we go. Shot of the F-100 Super Sabre and Dean Cutshall.
You got to blow a little more smoke. Oh, here we go. Watch this.
Is this your first time with the air show? To the air show?
At this air show, yes, it is.
You've been here all day. You guys look like you're enjoying it. What's your favorite part?
Just being around the aircraft. We're privileged. We've gotten up close to the flight line, and it's fun to feel it as well as see it and hear it.
Wow. And how about you?
Well, we work at Pratt & Whitney, so it's really fun to come out here and see our engines in service.
Sure, they're the best in the world.
You betcha.
I'll go with you on that. Is there one in particular you like, a particular act, or?
Well, I think we're really excited to see the Thunderbirds perform in a couple minutes.
Yep, they're on the way. I know we're holding you up from that. Huh?
No, we'll get there.
Oh, not a problem there.
And ladies and gentlemen, here is Dan McHugh. Dan McHugh flying in a Corsair F4U 5NL owned by the Collings Foundation in Stowe, Massachusetts. This is a Korean War veteran plane restored in the fall of 2003. pilots for today's demonstration are Captain Carlos Berdecchia, Captain Michael Coppola, Captain Wes Scanfield. The loadmasters today, Tech Sergeant Chris Cobb, Tech Sergeant Michael Morris, the Boeing C-17 Globemaster III.
I'm honored and pleased to be in the presence right now with the man in charge of the Massachusetts Air National Guard. He's Major General Akey. And General, how do you see your role of the Air National Guard in Massachusetts?
Well, my role is to provide strategic leadership to the fighter wing and also the intelligence wing that we have here in Massachusetts. It's great to be part of this organization. I joined the unit in 1986. I've been here ever since and transitioned to the state leadership position back in 2004. The men and women of the Massachusetts Air National Guard are very special. Over 2,200 members. They make what's best about being here in Massachusetts.
How do you see the role of a Guard wing within the community?
That's a good question. The Air National Guard and the National Guard, we have roughly 6,400 soldiers in the Army National Guard, 2,200 airmen, and we have a dual mission. Our primary mission is our federal mission. And as part of our federal mission, we have 18 F-15C aircraft here. We provide air sovereign alert for the entire Northeast United States. And then we also have a state mission, and our state mission is falls underneath the governor. And our governor has activated us in the past for anything from floods, ice storms. We did the airport support mission. Sometimes we just go out and do safety checks. So when the governor calls, we respond, and we do that as Air Guardsmen as well as Army soldiers.
How do you feel? The F-15s are new for you guys here. Well, I should say here at the 104th. How do you feel with the operation at this point?
Well, the men and women have stepped up to the plate. Right now we've got 18 brand new F-15 aircraft, and when I say brand new, granted they were built in the 80s, but even though they were built in the 80s, they've gone through several modifications. These are the premier F-15s in the United States Air Force. We fly them here. We've got a great reputation in the United States Air Force, and it's exciting to have the airplanes.
And what do you think of the air show? Today was the first day of it, and you were here all day, busy all day, I'm sure.
I've been to several air shows, and the nice thing about the air show is the 1,060 airmen that are stationed here at Barnes get to go ahead and show their families, friends, employers, their children, what they do on a day-to-day basis. And the air power that flew here today, we had F-15s, F-16s, P-51s, we had the Navy F-18. I mean, the list could go on and on. And what's really nice is speaking with some of the air show veterans, and the air show veterans have spoken very positively about what they experienced here. And the one thing I always like to hear is the men and women of the 104th and the Massachusetts Air National Guard have treated us like family. And we're a family organization out here, and it's what makes you feel good as a commander.
Rob Holland's got his smoke on. Big low dive, that gives you a whole lot of airspeed, which you can take way, way up in the air.
Rob makes his home in Nashua, New Hampshire, where he started flying 18 years ago. He graduated from Daniel Webster College and has accumulated over 10,000 hours of flight time in 162 different types of aircraft. Rob's favorite aircraft, of course, for performance and competition flying, is the Window World MX-2, which he proudly displays for you today.
We've got ourselves a hang glider and a truck on the runway out here. What's going on? That looks like Dan Buchanan. Is that you?
Yeah, is this the announcer talking? This is Dan in the hang glider.
Well, it's about time I got in touch with you. What's going on? Don't you see that airplane flying up there? You're not supposed to be in the air now. Well, Dan, it'll be interesting if you survive this, because it looks like Rob still sees you over there, and he may be coming at you again.
Oh, no. Well, am I in trouble? Am I going to jail?
Let's just put it this way. There are going to be people down here waiting for you.
I'll tell you what, Dan, as the saying goes, if you can't beat them, we'll join them. Let's see if I can pull up next to you and say hi.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it
been watching Rob Holland Ultimate Air Shows and the Window World MX2. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about your air performance, which is absolutely amazing?
Well, it's an unpowered hang glider, which is kind of unusual at an air show with jets and propellers and everything. But I actually get towed by a pickup truck with a spool of line on it, and it tows me down the runway several directions, which is a whole nother story in itself. And I'm usually, quite often, I take off at the wrong time and interrupt somebody's act, and the airplane performer's kind of ticked off at me and attacking me and chopping the streamers off the back of the wing. And, I don't know what's going to happen today.
Are there any special precautions that you make when you do your performances?
Well, there's a lot of precautions we take behind the scenes that people never see, as far as the hours of prep and everything for our 10-minute window of. There's just a lot of safety factors to consider, and weather equipment, me, just a lot of things. But that's true for everybody who flies in air shows in front of thousands of people.
Is there any special modifications of the glider that you use?
No, I haven't had to modify anything other than I put two wheels on to land, because typically a hang glider's landed on your feet, and I can't do that because I paralyzed my legs 30 years ago, and I just roll in on the wheels. It actually simplifies things.
Well, you're obviously very inspirational. Is there any special messages that you have out there?
No, I don't try to be inspirational, but if something comes out of it along those lines, that's just icing on the cake. I'm not out to prove anything. I'm just having a good time in my life and working hard at it. It's a lot of behind-the-scenes work. People have no idea how much goes into making all this work. But I love it, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else right now.
Thank you, Dan Buchanan. We're here with Larry Arkin of the Geico Skytypers. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Geico Skytypers and what they do?
Absolutely. We're one of the only acts in the country that fly 6 World War II fighter trainers, and we do a low-level precision formation demonstration, and we also are the only ones in the country that use these aircraft to do aerial skytyping. We put giant messages in the sky. Each letter is as tall as the Empire State Building, as long as 5 miles long. We put up 25 letters in 2 minutes, and they're seen in a 30-mile circle, so we can spread the word of the air show that we're performing at and our sponsor Geico by using the skytyping medium, and then we come down and do a low-level air show, which lets people see the airplanes up close.
The history of the airplanes is very interesting. Can you talk a little bit more about where they came from, when they were made?
Absolutely, and it's interesting that you bring that up. The SNJ was made by North American. They made an AT-6 version, which was Army Air Corps, and they made the Navy version, which was SNJ. And they were used as fighter trainers in all the military to do their primary training before jumping in the P-51 Mustangs, the Corsairs, the P-47 Thunderbolt, and this airplane was also used as a frontline fighter as well in many of the battles that we fought. The technology we use is data link. We data link all the aircraft together, and electronically through a laptop that sits actually on my knee with a touch screen, I can create messages, feed them into the computer, and the computer within seconds can spell the messages out. The other interesting thing about the team is that everybody on the team is former military pilots. So we have Marines, Navy, Air Force that fly the airplanes because of the heavy formation background. So we bring a lot of heritage to the airplanes and a lot of heritage to the team supporting the military. We have 11 pilots that are on the team. We have what we call the primary 6, and then we have our other backup pilots which fill in for us when certain members of the team need some time off or when we're moving the aircraft, and typically that's how the team is composed.
As the aircraft perform today, I'll introduce the pilots to you. Leading the flight is boss and flight leader Larry Arkin. Steve Kapoor. At right wing is Ken Johansson. Left wing is Rob Steele. Slot position is Bob Johansson. Executive officer and lead solo Steve Selmers. And wing solo is Tom Daly. We'd also like to recognize another key pilot on our team, Jim Record. The flight will release 2 members to investigate a bogey, an unidentified airplane that could be a threat. A solos cross, pulling up and through each other's paths in order to clear the area behind them.
Back active formation to continue the mission. Let's watch the Geico Skytyper showing us how all the formation teams, including the Jets, accomplish a rejoin the diamond showing off their beautiful precision flying. After clearing the area.
Hi, I'm with the Westfield Barnes Airport Manager, Brian Barnes, and just have a couple of questions for you if we could.
Sure, absolutely.
One, how long have you been the airport manager here?
Only for about a year and a half now. I came here in March 2009.
Now, you're an airport manager of a joint use airport.
Yes.
What's that like?
It's great, actually. I mean, it's. I think that's one of the things that was one of the strong suits that I had when I came here, and that is I get to deal with the military on a regular basis. It's been fantastic working with Colonel Brooks and the folks here. You know, they do all our firefighting, so they provide all the firefighting coverage here. Primarily, if an accident was to occur on base, then the folks here would take care of it first, and then we'd go out to the city, and the city would then respond. So they've been an invaluable help there. And we also have security that helps us out. So between that and the functions like this air show that's going on, they're just a ball to work with. They've been great, and they've actually been very vital to the economic growth here for the airport. They've been great, fantastic.
Good. Now, the air show, this is a big air show, and
Yeah,
you look reasonably relaxed.
And I'll tell you what, again, the military set this up and they did all the heavy lifting.
They do it all.
We're here just to make sure that everything goes smoothly and we can provide them with what they need. So we have a lot of volunteers, we have a lot of city workers that prepared the site, that did a lot of the construction and did those kind of things. But they run the entire show as far as coordinating with the air crews, getting the FAA in here, coordinating the day-to-day stuff, and actually running the show. So once we got it set up, it actually became very easy for me. These are a great bunch of guys to work with. It's been really easy.
Lieutenant Colonel Derek Rout. Now, can you tell us more about the mission of the Thunderbirds?
You bet. Our mission is to represent 700,000 airmen. We bring our team of 120 Thunderbird members, and we're here to Westfield, Massachusetts, and we're going to put on a demonstration, which we did today and we will do tomorrow. And that's just a little bit of a microcosm of what your Air Force is doing today.
Can you explain to us the maneuvers that the Thunderbirds do?
Absolutely. Our Diamond pilots will stay together as a four-ship to represent the precision of our formation flying, and then our two solos will be separate through most of the show, and they're here to demonstrate the power and the maneuverability of the F-16. And once we come together as a six-ship Delta, essentially that shows the pride and the professionalism of your airmen today.
Now, the F-16s that you used in the air, are they the same as the fighter models?
Absolutely. These are the same exact aircraft that are being used in Afghanistan and Iraq today, supporting our troops on the ground. And right along with the 104th Fighter Wing, which is right here at Barnes Air National Guard Base, the Barnes Air National Guard defends the continental United States as well as gains and maintains air supremacy, which they had done over Iraq. And then what we do is come in with our F-16s and do close air support and support the troops on the ground.
How long have you been a Thunderbird?
I've been a Thunderbird. This is my second year. I've been in the Air Force for about 18 years, and it is a true honor to be here representing our airmen.
My name is Bill Lau, as you've heard. We're based in Rochester, New York. We do a lot of air shows. This has got to be one of the biggest crowds that we have ever seen. You think so?
Honda generators are providing the power to Mach 1 Productions, the sound and communication provider for this air show.
What's your name, sir, and what town are you from?
My name is Bo Pracassini. I'm from New Hartford, Connecticut.
New Hartford, Connecticut. This is first time to the Westfield Air Show?
No, I've been up here many times. I love it. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, you've been here most of the day then, right?
Yeah, pretty much. We got here all night.
And what in particular do you like the best? What's your
Well, I think it's all that good jet turbine noise, you know, when they hit those afterburners, and I think that's where your money's being spent, and it's good to see a good display of it, and it's very entertaining, and I like seeing that. I like seeing some of the stunt planes, the aerobatic guys. It's amazing what they put those airplanes through, the turns and the twists, and you just can't imagine the G-forces that they
That kind of makes your eyeballs spin while they're doing it.
It sure does. It's good stuff.
It really is. Couldn't quite make it.
Yesterday was crazy. They had it backed up for 28 miles
I
on the
had to go to
interstate.
Worcester yesterday morning. They were stopped at the Westfield exit to a mile beyond Ludlow.
Oh.
They were stopped and weren't moving.
That was insane. You know what? It's funny because we had some calls too from Chris Willenborg, who's the executive director down there for Mass DOT Aeronautics. And he called me up and said, hey, we got some folks down here on this side of the state wondering what's going on up there. I'm like, we just don't have the roads to, you know, we're doing the best we can, but they estimated about 185,000 people.